That's a legendary Honda CR500. And this is our homemade Megalodon 700cc two-stroke. And it's finally time to put these two big bore beasts head to head. It's drag race day. But these aren't the only two bikes we've got to play on here this afternoon. We've got a full roster of machines ready to take on the Megalodon. We've got a full, albeit a little wonky drag strip complete with flags, a grid girl and a speed trap. This is going to be a fun one. Let's crown the king of the quarter mile. So like any big time fighter might do before a big prize fight, we've set up some warm-up bouts for the Megalodon to get ready for the main event. So let's eat some four strokes and destroy some tiddlers. Okay, so our first warm-up match on the Megalodon 700 is me against our chain racing rider Neville Bradshaw on my race tune YZ125. It's a bit of fun. We're going to do standing starts on this. We might do some rolling starts later on, but let's see what the 700's got against the YZ125. I think I won.
The YZ was actually more manageable out of the gates, especially with Nev being a pro racer and an ace starter. But as expected, the Meg was still able to make light work of the little tiddler without breaking a sweat.
So our next matchup is the Megalodon 700 versus KTM 250 EXC. Is that the official name for it? The enduro model from KTM 254 stroke. So let's see, the Megalodon is hungry. Let's eat some four strokes. I got a bad start that time.
It was interesting to see the difference between the 125 two-stroke and the 254 stroke here. We started doing rolling starts to save the clutch on the Meg, so things were a little more even to begin with. But the Megalodon ate the 250 for breakfast in the mid-range. Although the EXC did put up more of a fight at the top end, but it still wasn't enough to stop the Megalodon from making another kill.
So you might have noticed this sick new gear that I'm wearing. This is from Ride, which is a company that's been set up by a buddy of mine, Chad Yarrington. He set up this company. It's the newest company in the UK specialising in custom and semi-custom race gear. As you can see, this is like one of their base designs. You can pick the colours, you can add your logos, put your name and number on the back, fully sublimated, just like the pros. They use the best quality material, the best inks, and it's pretty factory looking if you ask me. If you want to know more about that, check out the links in the description down below. I'll link to Chad's Facebook, his website, everything you need to do if you want to get in contact with him about the semi-custom gear, and they also do fully custom gear. We'll tell you more about that in a future video though, because he's made us a full set of custom gear and we'll be showing you that soon. But yeah, big thanks to Chad from Ride for hooking us up with some fresh reds.
Okay, so the next warm-up bout for the Megalodon 700 is KTM 450 at a 4-stroke. Hopefully this is going to be another 4-stroke that we can eat for breakfast. Be a bit more of a race this time though. A little 250 we just munched up. Let's have a go then. Is everyone ready? Neville Bradshaw on the KTM 450. He's now going to pick up the next victim for the Megalodon 700, and that will be another enduro bike, a KTM 500 4-stroke, I believe this thing is.
The races against both of the big four bangers were very similar. The Megalodon had them covered in the low to mid range, and I was able to open up a gap from the start to the midpoint of the straight. But you can see from the footage that the KTMs were able to close that gap towards the finish. And I think I know why. But before we talk about that, we've got one final matchup to get to first.
It's time for the main event. Big Red versus the Mega 7. In an all-out, balls to the wall drag race. Honda versus Megalodon. Max versus Bradshaw. Let's see what she's made of. I'm going to do a rolling start. She's a bit easier on these big four bikes.
So this is it, the moment we've all been waiting for. The Megalodon is going to take on a CR500. Can our shed-built, homemade monster contraption really take on the might of Honda? Well guys, place your bets now. It's time for the main event.
3, 2, 1.
How cool was that? We did multiple runs of the 700 versus 500 and we concluded that the Meg most definitely had the grunt out of the gates to take an early lead. But the CR had the legs at the top end most definitely, resulting in some very close finishes. We even swapped rides at one point to compare notes. That starting in second gear was much more efficient for the Meg, and if I clicked up twice into top gear cleanly and put all of that power to the ground efficiently, it would be a close fought race against Big Red. But if we lost any traction or that front wheel started rising, it was going to be a tough race to try and pull back, meaning that the CR500 took its fair share of outright wins. As a sidecar engine, our motor was designed with torque in mind. It was built to drag two blokes and half a car out of a corner, rather than to break any land speed records. But I do think that the Meg has more to give. We were hitting top speeds of 80 miles per hour, which is way quicker than you'll ever go on a motocross track. But I do reckon that our heavily modified air intake system is still strangling the big girl a little at the very top end. But nevertheless, this was still one of the most fun days that we've ever had filming a video for this channel. And I hope that you guys enjoyed watching the video as much as we enjoyed making it.
Okay guys, so if you're keen to support what we do here and help us make cool videos like this one, I've got a couple of new ways that you can do that. First off, the YouTube gods have been kind to us and they've given us a brand new button. You might see it down below the video. It's called a super thanks. Our channel has just become eligible for it. Think of it as like a tip jar for us. If you really enjoy a video, really enjoy what we do here at the channel, you could click that button and donate maybe £5 or a couple of quid to help us make new videos in the future. Every little helps and we'll be able to do bigger and better things with a bit more budget behind these videos. And if you do decide to tip using that as super thanks button, we'll make sure to include you in a video, give you a shout out, maybe put your name on the wall in the studio, something like that. We'll think of something cool to do for anyone that supports us and backs us in that way. So yeah, check out that button, the super thanks down there below.
As always guys, my name is Max, you've been watching 999 Laser, and until next time, I'll see you at the track.
Meg's doing his favourite thing again.